people's dignity needs to be protected. And we cannot give feedback to people in a very careless way and we still expect to have their loyalty. Humans remember more how we make them feel rather than what we say. Hello. I hope you're fine. This video is about feedback in teams. What is feedback? Feedback is simply letting people know what you think about something, what you feel about something. It's getting your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions communicated to the other person so that they are not left in a state of assumption. So, today I just wanted to talk about this whole concept around feedback. So, an opening phrase is that people are always talking. The only difference is where they are talking, who they are talking to. And so if there is no clear system for giving feedback, they are going to talk to other people. If they don't talk to you, they will talk about you. Yes. So if we are not talking to each other, we will start talking about each other. So they'll talk about their frustrations, either to their spouse, to other colleagues, in the workplace, or wherever. So I think that's why a structure for giving feedback is very, very important. So one would ask, beyond that, why is feedback really a very core aspect of teams and for their growth? First of all, feedback is an opportunity for appreciating people for the good that they do. It's unfortunate that in many organizations, in many companies, people are quiet when everything is going on well. And then the day somebody stops doing the good, you're like, but what happened? But you were quiet when everything was going on well. So the first reason why we give feedback is so that people know that they're making sense. They know that the good they're doing is appreciated. There don't have to be extra reasons. It is just good manners to say thank you, to let people know that what they're doing is something that we appreciate. The second reason is to then promote a good behavior. So now that you appreciate what somebody does and you tell them, I liked how the report was, the way you worked with the other clients assigned to you, this was great. And the way the project was implemented, it was a success. You displayed great leadership and we appreciate this. You're really doing well. So by pointing out the good, people will want to do much more. And one of our greatest needs as human beings is the desire to be seen, to be understood, to be perceived as somebody who is making impact, somebody whose work makes a difference. And whenever we meet people who make us realize that we are making impact out there, we tend to remain close to them and we want to keep doing the things that made them recognize our contribution. So, second reason, definitely, like I said, is to then promote a good behavior. And a third, which unfortunately is what we mostly focus on, is to discourage a bad behavior. So, somebody has done something that we don't like, what do? We confront them or we call them and tell them, this and this happened and I'm not happy about it. So, by letting people know we're not happy about certain things, the next time they want to do something similar, they remember, my colleague or the boss or so and so is not happy about this particular behavior. So feedback then discourages a bad behavior. So to summarize the core three aspects, one is to appreciate something that is good because it's good manners to appreciate. The second is to promote the good that is happening. And the third is to discourage any negative that's already happened or that could happen. And so by talking about this, we're able to see that teams grow. So I just want to share about some few principles that I have behind giving feedback and that whole process that I usually talk about also in some of the events we run for organizations and companies when we conduct their team building events. So one of the first basic rules is that feedback is feedback. regardless of how it is given. It doesn't have to be given in the most romantic way, in the nicest way. Feedback is feedback. And unfortunately, most times when it's given to us, we want to focus on the tone. We want to focus on who gave it, who are you to tell me this and that. After all, you're nobody in this place. It should have been the boss to talk this and that. So feedback is feedback, especially when given to us, even if it is in the most crooked way, even if it's by a drunkard, even if it's by someone we think is in the lower strata of society. Feedback is feedback. What does that mean? That it does not matter how it is given. Our job is to focus on what is the message. Behind what we consider as hate, what we consider as complaint, what could be the true point this person has beyond and behind what they have just said, so that I'm not misinterpreting them and I focus on their pure intentions. The second principle is that it matters how feedback is given. And that means if we are the ones giving feedback, it matters. Yes? So the second principle is that it matters how we give feedback. While in the beginning we said it doesn't matter how feedback is given, in the second principle, it matters how we ourselves give feedback. Because while we have no total control over how people say what they say, where they say what they say, we have full control over what we say, where we say it, who we say it to. We are in charge of our own actions. So within every team, if you're a team leader, you're a team member, it's important that you reflect on how do I give feedback? Do I give feedback to people as rumors? Do I give feedback when I'm upset? Or do I wait to calm down fast, think things through, and I don't come out as judgmental? I have to realize that usually people will forget about the message and they think more about the approach, how you made them feel at that moment. And I think that's where it's important to give feedback from, first of all, a position of the positive. You know, there's this good and there's this good, but there could also be this other area before we cross into that other. The third principle that I usually talk about is, if you are quiet when everything goes well, you lose your moral authority to speak when things go wrong. So that means if we want to get the best out of our teams, we must be thinking, okay, when last did I appreciate people for the good that they were doing? And it means that as a team leader, as a team member, we must always have our eyes open to see how other people are doing what they're doing. And when we appreciate something, we give them feedback. The next time when they do something which is not in our best interest, or we think is not the best for the success of the team, we can come forward and say, hey, Nobert, I think here there was a gap in this area and that. And then whoever you're giving this feedback to will know that so-and-so has my best interest at heart. And if they are saying this to me now, they really want the best for me. Why? Because before even this, they have been talking positive things to me. So unfortunately, we have many teams where people are quiet until something goes wrong. So what does this mean? That criticize in private, praise in public, because people's dignity needs to be protected. And we cannot give feedback to people in a very careless way and we still expect to have their loyalty. Humans remember more how we make them feel rather than what we say. So points of reflection is, what is your current culture of giving feedback within your team? Do people understand why they have to give feedback? Are they very careful about how they give feedback? And do they appreciate each other? Do they promote good behavior? Or everyone is quiet when things are going wrong and they only, when things are going right, and they only talk when things go wrong? By the way, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Check the details and so that you can get more videos.